There is a white man on the internet that's making social media go crazy right now, and his name is Will Cameron. He is from Montreal, Canada, but let's kind of just worry about him for a little bit later. See, what's happening here, guys, is there is a section of women in the black community called divestors, or we also have another phrase for them or term, which is swirlers. And they don't have to be interchangeable, but somehow they can also be related. And a lot of black women that are in these communities love white men, of course, and that's who they want to date. So whenever you see white men making a video about how much they love black women, that video will get a lot of views, even if the white man is not even, according to them, the best looking or the most educated or make the most money. That white man will get a lot of attention. Now, more on that. Let me kind of get back to the whole situation here with Mr. Will Cameron. He uploaded a video on TikTok that he then removed. And the name of the video was why he stopped, dating black women, right? That has been removed, but unfortunately for him, we still have a copy of it. And we're going to talk about why Mr. Will Cameron no longer dates black women.
So the reason I hesitate or feel resistant toward dating black women is because I've been on dates with 3 different black women, and on literally every single date, I have had a black man, not every black man, but at least one black man glare at us or be kind of aggressive toward us. And at first, with those first 2 dates, I was kind of like, am I looking for it? Am I being insecure? Is there something, maybe kind of some implicit racism or something in myself that I'm just sensitive to that kind of thing, right? Or creating it, you know what I mean? But on the 3rd date, we had an experience that kind of just solidified the fact that it was happening, where we were walking on the Montreal Canal, right? Middle of the day, and there was these 3 black men who were standing there. And as we were walking by, none of them were looking at me. And at this point, I fully admit that at this point, I was looking for it. I was waiting for it to happen because of these past 2 experiences. But none of them looked at me. But one of them actually was mean mugging her and stepped toward her to kind of have this throwing an ugly face toward her or something, a glare at her. And that experience just kind of confirmed the fact that it was happening on those other dates. And I just looking at that, it just shocked me because I wasn't prepared for that at all. I never thought something like that would happen. And so I guess the point of this TikTok is just to ask, has this happened to anyone else? Is this something that's just I've experienced, or is this a very common thing? Because it even was worse than that, where at the end of that date, we were walking to the metro, and I haven't dated a black woman since because of this. But we ran into her hairdresser and her hairdresser's partner. They're both black. And they were talking, the hairdresser and this girl I was on a date with. And I tried talking to the guy, and he would just give me one-word answers, right? And he wouldn't really look at me as I was trying to talk to him. And at some point, I just stopped talking to him, stopped trying to have a conversation, because it was just clear he didn't want to talk to me. And so to have those glaring experiences, and then the throwing a glare at her is stepping forward in an aggressive way, and then to just be completely ignored by this guy, I was just really shocked. I guess I'm just confused by it, because I wasn't expecting that much hostility for me being a white guy trying to date black women, right? And so I guess again, is this an experience that the people have had? I'm just curious.
So guys, you saw that, right? And it's very interesting. Of course, there was a lot of ladies mad, especially this particular by the name of Auntie Karen. And we're going to go ahead on and play the receipts that Auntie Karen found out about him.
Let's expose Will Cameron, since he decided to expose us to his racism. So for those of you who missed it, he decided to hop on Beyonce's internet and tell us why he doesn't like black women. Now, he claimed to say that it was because of the way that black men responded to him. Whatever. That's not what we're here for. This guy totes himself to be a masculinity coach. And well, I decided to look into his services. Now, you go to his YouTube channel, he talks about corn addiction, he talks about being masculine and all that fun stuff. And he also claims that he has his psychology degree, which is interesting because I found this. My guy out here giving us his preferences, saying that he's a masculinity coach and he's, has his psychology degree. Meanwhile, he's still in school and he's looking for house sitting and plant sitting jobs in Quebec. Bro, be for real right now. Be for real right now. Bro, you're trying to house sit a plant. We don't need you. We are not looking your way.
So shout out to Aunt Karen Zero. Now, I want to just talk about this. And number one, he said he didn't date black women because he got these stares from black men, which in honesty, I believe that is true. Number one, I lived in Poland for a long time. I love Poland and I am a pro-black, but I can just even, remember seeing myself. Let's say if you be out with some classmate from the medical school or whatever, and they are white, the way that white men would look at you, it was dirty, right? And the way that people looked at you in general, even if they were curious or wanting to know who you were, you just didn't like it, right?
Stop it. Get some help.
Which is why I never dated anybody from Poland. That was besides being a pro-black, but I just never did because of you get tired of those sorts of stares. But people who date interracial are gonna get those stares. Like, that's just what happens. Loving versus Virginia, that was about a black woman and a white man getting married. You think that they didn't get stares? And people in interracial marriages, they know you're gonna get stares, but you don't care if you feel that the partner is quality. So what he's saying is that I don't want to date sisters because despite the stares I got, I didn't feel like none of them were quality enough for me to continue despite the stares I was getting. Now, looking at what Aunt Karen Zero said about the guy, this is a guy who is absolutely broke, it seems. He's looking for house sitter and plant sitter job opportunities. So here's a guy that doesn't even really have anything to offer black women in the first place. Yet, if this guy would have made a video about how much he loves black women, you would have had so many sisters with, in my honest opinion, self-esteem that is low, running around trying to get with this guy who's saying, hey, I love black women. But now this dude is pretty much in the same financial situation of the black man you're trying to get away from. He can't do anything for you. He doesn't have anything to offer you or even offer the people in his own community. And the way that he's trying to play it off that he don't want to date black women anymore is because of black men. When in all actuality, you don't want to date black women anymore because you just don't want to date black women anymore. People look at you crazy all the time, in stores or people cut you online. Does that mean that you don't want to go outside anymore? Just think about it. If you knew what somebody did outside in the store, what crimes they committed or what they could have done, most of us would never come outside in general. Or what about going on the road as a driver? I mean, there are more car accidents than plane crashes. You wouldn't even go outside. You get hit by a bus, right? Anybody can make up any excuse to say, I'm not attracted to black women or whoever kind of women because I don't want to deal with them. But what's happening is that they're getting the outrage from a guy, in my honest opinion, that sisters shouldn't even be paying attention to in the first place. And this is the reason why I say, black people got to have a lot more self-love. Black men and black women. These people who are coming out here saying these things, trying to blame black men or black women for whatever else, we should have more pride in ourselves. We have plenty of people in our community. We got beautiful women. We got men who are smart, men who are doing whatever they can. And we don't even really need to have the opinions of other groups when we can do a lot of the stuff ourselves. Stop the show. Check out the Pan-African Dating Show if you need your boy to hook you up. I mean, straight like that. That way, Will Cameron ain't got to be dissing on you and stuff like that. We got to stop letting these different people talk about, offend people in the community when they don't even have a voice in their own community. Even white women wouldn't even want to talk to this guy in his own community. He doesn't have anything to offer anybody. So who cares? Outside of him being white, that's the only thing that matters. And we need to stop that. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell. I'm out.